Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, you're fine.
We
Let
are
me
now
just,
live on the air, in theory.
we're, li- we're live on the air.
In,
Okay.
in, in theory.
Huh.
That's the theory.
Oh, this is scary.
Yeah, I still have to bring Audacity up.
I don't entirely remember how all this stuff's meant to work because we haven't done a live one for a while.
Yeah, we've been doing just pre-recorded, so.
Let's see if I can hear myself live. Testing 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, we're there. Someone else say something?
Something.
Something else.
Okay. I'm actually recording now, so.
Okay, cool. Now, are we just going to do a group recording or are we going to get John to record his side or?
I think given how late we are, we'll just do a group recording.
Okay.
So.
Right, well,
Uh,
let's begin.
yeah, so I'll take the blame for being late for everybody who's listening live, but that was my fault for completely losing track of what time it was. So in any case, this is James Robertson, Income Small Talk Product Evangelist. I'm here with Michael Lucas Smith, one of our engineers.
G'day.
And also John O'Keefe, actually, what is your title there at Instantiations, John? I don't know what it is these days.
It's Principal Smalltalk Architect.
Okay. So John O'Keefe, Principal Smalltalk Architect. So why don't we start off, I guess we could go through a whole lot of things on your background in Smalltalk, but before we kind of jump back to that, why don't we start out with the big changes at Instantiations recently? About a month ago, there was a fairly big announcement.
Yeah, there was. And for those who hadn't heard about it, Instantiations itself is a little bit smaller now than it used to be because we sold a fair amount of the company to Google. Google bought the Java tools side of Instantiations, and Instantiations itself was reborn as a small talk company. So we are now sort of back to Instantiations' roots as a small talk only company. And the rest of the Instantiations folks are now happily ensconced in a Google office in Portland, Oregon.
So how many people work at Instantiations now?
Well, I'm not exactly sure. I know how many are here in Raleigh. We have four of us here in Raleigh, and there's some number of people that is going up and down at the moment, still in Portland.
It's interesting that the timing is with Gemstone, where a bunch of Gemstone all of Gemstone gets bought by VMware for their Java tools, and now we have a big chunk of Instantiations bought for their Java tools, and at the same time, Oracle screwing around with Java. So I have to say, when I was a customer of Instantiations many years ago, we saw a change in Instantiations when there was a change to build Java tools, and that side of the Instantiations business took off. And it seemed like the Smalltalk tools took a back seat. We got prompt support and updates, but nothing really advanced. Whereas the Java tools, in comparison, got heaps of new stuff constantly. So I can say as an ex-customer now that I am delighted to hear that Instantiations is back to its roots because it made some very cool stuff.
Yeah. The other thing is that Mike Taylor continues to be our CEO, president of the company, and Mike goes back many years in Smalltalk, and he has publicly stated more than once that we will be hiring.
Oh, so the plan is to expand your Smalltalk team.
Absolutely.
Well, what directions are you going to go? Like, what skill sets you're hiring? We know the Visual Age has a very strong web services story. You've just picked up Seaside. You've been doing GUI improvements. So where is the general direction? And actually, before you answer that, I just want to clarify the virtual machine is still owned by IBM, isn't it?
Well, actually not. So the virtual machine is licensed to us, but we cannot relicense it.
So does that mean you guys can work on the VM and change it and then?
We can and do.
Okay, cool. I was under the incorrect assumption that that part was frozen in stone because of the deal with IBM, but that's great.
No. So the deal with IBM was pretty straightforward. We got everything that constituted visual age Smalltalk, some of which we're allowed to redistribute as our product. But the one thing that we cannot redistribute is the source code for the VM. I don't know what just happened. I still seem to be here.
Sorry, I was on mute there for a second. I think Michael's connection went flaky. He sometimes had audio trouble with some of his setup recently. But, I can still hear you, and I guess let me ping Michael on the side.
Testing. Just bear with me while I get this working again. Are you going to bring John in as well?
Crap, I have to, hold on.
Hi, John. I'm just trying to get James back in now.
Yeah. Okay, I'm back.
It appears that my microphone troubles have not left me yet. So let's see. James is now apparently busy. Let's try this again. I've swapped to a different microphone, so that should hopefully fix the problem.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Where I was at, what I was saying was, since you guys haven't been live on the air at all since that happened, why is it that we can't see the source code? Is there alien technology hiding in there? Or you could show us, but then you'd have to kill us.
I guess that I have no trouble showing it to people. We just aren't allowed by the terms of the license to redistribute it. So, you know, for example, if we had a project, you know, one of the things that we're trying to do as you know, kind of the new instantiations is to put together joint projects with universities, and I'm working with HPI in Potsdam to try and put a bachelor's project together there for this school year. So if they needed to do something to the VM, I would have no trouble, no issues with sharing it with them, but they couldn't use it outside the, kind of the boundaries of this project that we're talking about.
So the other part of the question was, what kind of skill sets are you going to be hiring?
So the skill sets that we're interested in, I think, are people who have preferably some visual age or VA Smalltalk skills, but seeing some of our developers now came in without them and have learned them. That's not a tremendous drawback if you don't know the product. We're looking for people who understand the difference between product development and application development. There is, in my mind, there's a huge difference between using a product like VA Smalltalk or VisualWorks or any other Smalltalk system to build applications and doing actual development on the product, because you have to be much more concerned when you're doing development on the product about being careful not to lay new prerequisites on the customers, and to do things in a way that is very extensible. And when you're just doing kind of product development, or I'm sorry, application development at a customer, you don't need to be quite as concerned about that.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the product. Certainly in products past that I've worked on, we've had interfaces that customers enthusiastically abused. So you do kind of end up in the same situation. But yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
When you're building the tools and the language and reusable libraries, all that kind of stuff, you're in a totally different mindset to building an application where you can batten down the hatches and just close everything off. And it's sort of like the difference between building iTunes and building the XML parser that iTunes uses underneath.
That's right. So, so we're looking for, we would be looking for really highly skilled product developers.
Because I was kind of curious if you were going to try and expand the kind of realm that the VA Smalltalk is capable of dealing with. Like, you might hire a DirectX expert, or you might hire a PlayStation 3 expert to help port the VM to PlayStation 3, or things like that are outside the norm of what you would expect to see in a typical Smalltalk development team.
Yeah, I would say that we are probably not headed in the direction of PlayStation 3s.
That was just a random example.
No, I understand. Or, but for example, one of the things that we are continually asked about is Smalltalk for the Mac. And
yeah, I remember last year's ESUG where the whole audience for the Mac just went on and on for a bit about that.
Yes. Well, it is if you're at ESUG, or it's kind of interesting as a presenter, because you're looking up at the audience and what you see are a bunch of laptops open and they all have Apple logos on their covers.
That's pretty typical of conferences, but I'm not so sure it's typical of the majority of the big paying customers.
No, it's not, and that's
that's the problem.
The difference between what we hear when we go to conferences and what we hear when we're out trying to satisfy the needs of our existing customers, or bring new customers into the fold.
Well, I can say that in our development team, maybe even 50% now of us develop on the Mac, and then we have a big server farm of all the different machines that we can run our code on to make sure it still works cross-platform. But that's the beauty of Smalltalk. You get it working in one place and 99% of it works everywhere. So I guess you get this sort of developer relationship where you can say to them, hey, that's your favorite platform, you can develop